Assalamu alaikum second year. This is your teacher Saima Malik from Biology Department, Army Public School and College, Fort Road, Rawalpindi. My dear students, this is third lecture of first week and we are right now studying chapter number 14, very first chapter of second year book, that is respiration, and today's lesson is based on the topics which are on page number 12 to page number 14. I hope you have seen the first two lectures, gone through those lectures, and you have no problem with those lectures. These are the pages of today's lesson. I hope all of you have books now. Okay, let's start. Transport of gases, mainly transported in various regions of the body by means of blood. Means blood is the main transporting fluid that transports whatever in the body, like nutrients or gases or whatever. You can easily understand this by this diagram, or we can also understand the relationship between two gases that are basically transporting in the body: oxygen from lungs to different tissues and carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. First of all, we'll study about the transport of oxygen in blood. Oxygen is usually transported in our bodies by two ways. 97% of the oxygen is carried by red blood cells as oxyhemoglobin. However, 3% of the oxygen is transported as dissolved oxygen in the plasma. Plasma is the fluid portion of blood. And the ability of hemoglobin to bind with oxygen is called oxygen carrying capacity of blood. Ability of hemoglobin means formation of oxyhemoglobin. So how much the hemoglobin in the blood, red blood cells, is able to bind with the oxygen in the formation of oxyhemoglobin, this ability of blood is known as oxygen carrying capacity. Yes, the same is being explained by the reaction as well, that binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin mainly depends on the partial pressure of oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen is written as in this way. So when hemoglobin combines with oxygen molecules in the presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase, oxyhemoglobin is formed. Oxyhemoglobin is written in two ways: Hb4O2 or HbO8. But always remember that this binding depends on the partial pressure of oxygen, as this binding of hemoglobin with the oxygen takes place when blood goes for oxygenation near the lungs or in the lungs. But when blood go towards different cells in the body, then oxygen got released from the hemoglobin. Then comes the transport of carbon dioxide in blood. Transportation of carbon dioxide in the human body takes place in three different ways: in the form of bicarbonate ions, in the form of carboxyhemoglobin, and also oxygen. Transportation of carbon dioxide also takes place in the dissolved form in plasma. So if you see carefully, oxygen when combines with hemoglobin, it forms oxyhemoglobin, whereas when carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin, it forms carboxyhemoglobin. Oxygen is also transported in dissolved form in plasma. Carbon dioxide is also transported in dissolved form in plasma. However, maximum carbon dioxide transported in the body is in the form of bicarbonate ions. So let's see one by one the detail of these methods. Next, as carboxyhemoglobin, 23% means 23% out of total 100% of carbon dioxide is transported in the body as carboxyhemoglobin. How this formation took place? Carbon dioxide combines with the globin part of the hemoglobin. Just like oxygen, this binding also depends upon the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Means this formation or this union occurs only when carbon dioxide is more, and whenever the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is lesser, carbon dioxide is being released from the hemoglobin. You can see it here. Higher partial pressure of carbon dioxide in tissues than blood. Means when blood is traveling through the body, where it is passing close to the tissues, where as a result of the metabolic activities, as a result of the respiratory activities, carbon dioxide is present in larger amount. So in the tissues, as partial pressure of carbon dioxide is higher as compared to the blood, carbon dioxide passes from tissues and come into the blood and form carboxyhemoglobin. However, when blood reaches into the lungs, where oxygenation of blood occurs, so the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is higher in the blood as compared to the carbon dioxide pressure or concentration in the tissues of the lungs. So here carboxyhemoglobin releases its carbon dioxide and is being exchanged with the oxygen. Means carbon dioxide from the blood go into the lung tissues, that is alveoli, that is the main respiratory surface. Carboxyhemoglobin releases the carbon dioxide, and in return hemoglobin combines with the oxygen. So exchange of gases actually takes place over here. Then the main transport of carbon dioxide in blood occurs as bicarbonate ions, that is 70% of the total carbon dioxide that is present in our body. Before telling you the steps of this method, I want to tell you that the transportation of carbon dioxide as bicarbonate ions is an important topic from your exam point of view as well, and the second name of this method is known as chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena. And most of the time this question comes into exam, how carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions, or what do you know about chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena. So let's see. That is the reason that I have shifted this topic in the end of all the different ways of transportation of carbon dioxide and explained earlier the other ways, just to emphasize its importance. First of all, when carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood, carbon dioxide after diffusion into the blood enters the red blood cells, and when carbon dioxide combines with water in the red blood cells, it forms carbonic acid, and this reaction takes place in the presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase. When this carbonic acid is an unstable compound, so it dissociates into hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions. However, there is a problem that if accumulation of hydrogen ions occurs, so accumulation of hydrogen ions increases the acidity and decrease the pH of blood. But actually these hydrogen ions are not accumulated, and decrease in pH of blood does not occur. Why this does not occur? This not occurs as hemoglobin buffers the hydrogen formed. How it buffers the hydrogen formed? Actually, the oxyhemoglobin that is carrying the oxygen, when hemoglobin is carrying the oxygen, obviously you know, you have just studied in the earlier slides that when oxygen combines with hemoglobin, we termed it as oxyhemoglobin. So when oxyhemoglobin combines with those hydrogen ions, hemoglobinic acid is formed and it releases the oxygen into the tissues. So negatively charged bicarbonate ions diffuses from the erythrocytes to plasma, means as all these events are occurring in the red blood cell, inside the red blood cell, after the oxygen is released into the tissues, and hydrogen ions that are formed earlier have now combined with the hemoglobin to form hemoglobinic acid. What happens? Actually, negatively charged bicarbonate ion diffuses out from the erythrocytes into the blood plasma, and here it combines with sodium ions to form sodium bicarbonate. So in order to compensate this transportation of negatively charged bicarbonate ions, chloride ions diffuses from the blood plasma inside the erythrocytes, and here it combines with potassium ions to form potassium chloride. And in this way, the blood pH at 7.4 can be maintained by the buffer mechanism. So the transport carried out by special bicarbonate chloride shift proteins, as you have seen over here, that bicarbonates are transported out of the erythrocytes, and in order to compensate this, chloride ions are transported inside of the erythrocytes. So it means on the membrane of the red blood cells, bicarbonate chloride carrier proteins are actually present, that makes possible the transportation of these bicarbonate ions as well as chloride ions. That's why we call this phenomena as chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena. But always remember, the whole process depends on partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Let me explain the same mechanism, the same phenomena with more detail in the next slide. Yes, this is a diagram from which you can easily understand the topic. This is the capillary wall. Capillary wall means on the inner side of the capillary wall blood is flowing, and on its outer side body tissues are present. These are the body tissue, the tissue cells. Okay? So here you can see, as a result of the respiratory activity, carbon dioxide is produced in the tissue cells. This carbon dioxide is transported into the blood. As you have studied in the previous slide, that all the transportation occurs depends on the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. As respiratory activities takes place in the body tissues, carbon dioxide partial pressure concentration or partial pressure of carbon dioxide increases. So this carbon dioxide crosses the capillary wall and move from the tissue cells into the blood, and then from the blood into the blood cells. When it enters into the blood cells, especially red blood cells, this carbon dioxide combines with water in the form of enzyme carbonic anhydrase. It forms carbonic acid. However, this carbonic acid is an unstable compound. It dissociates into bicarbonate ions as well as hydrogen ions. Now, these bicarbonate ions are transported out of the erythrocytes or red blood cells into the blood plasma. In order to compensate the transportation of these bicarbonate, that are negatively charged ions, out of the erythrocytes into the blood plasma, another negatively charged ions that are present in the blood plasma, that are chloride ions, move inside the red blood cells. These chloride ions combine with the potassium ions inside the red blood cells to form potassium chloride, and these bicarbonate ions, when comes into the plasma, here they combine with sodium to form sodium bicarbonate. And in the meantime, as you know, hemoglobin combines with hydrogen ions to form hemoglobinic acid. You can better understand these hemoglobin and hydrogen ion reaction in the next slide. All this reaction takes place when blood is near the body tissues. But when the same blood reaches the tissues inside the lungs, means near the alveoli of the lungs, the opposite of the reaction occurs. What happens? Actually, the bicarbonate ions that have already been transported out of the red blood cells go back towards the red blood cells. Chloride ions that are already transported inside the red blood cells comes out of the red blood cells, and bicarbonate ions go back inside the red blood cells. These bicarbonate ions, here you can see the same reaction is proceeding in the opposite direction, that these bicarbonate ions combines with hydrogen ions to form the carbonic acid in the form of the same enzyme, that is carbonic anhydrase. Then this carbonic acid dissociates into water and carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide crosses the capillary wall and go towards the alveoli of the lungs. Means here the carbon dioxide that was actually collected from the whole body tissues is now being transported to the alveoli of the lungs, and when the reaction of expiration or exhalation occurs, this carbon dioxide is transported out of the body. So this is the whole process of chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena, or you can say how carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions. Let's see another diagram for better clarification of the same topic. Recap of the topic is, today we have studied transport of gases, in which we studied transport of oxygen in blood as oxyhemoglobin. 97% of the oxygen is transported in this way, and 3% of the oxygen is transported in the form of dissolved oxygen in plasma. Secondly, transport of carbon dioxide in blood. 70% of the carbon dioxide is transported as bicarbonate ions, and very important phenomena for this transportation that is important from exam point of view as well, that is chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena. 23% of the carbon dioxide is transported as carboxyhemoglobin, and 7% of carbon dioxide is transported in the dissolved form. Here I have an assignment for you at the end of this lesson. Very first, learn the topics discussed. With the help of this lecture, you will easily solve the short questions of the exercise question number 11 and 10th and 11th part of question number 16. Extensive questions question number 24 and 25. Still, if you have any issue in solving any of the exercise question or in understanding any of the topic, you can ask question from the respective teacher. That's all for today. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay blessed. Thank you, students. Allah Hafiz.